Need to sew in a lap zipper in CLO3D that looks polished, professional, and finished? Well, today that's what we're going to be doing. Hi, I'm Christina and I love to digitally pattern draft, and today I'm super excited to walk you through how to sew a lap zipper step by step, fast and clear. So let's waste no more time and jump right on in to sewing this lapped zipper. And as you can see, we have a center front panel and two center back panels. So I'm going to flip around to the back and we're going to take a look at this back seam. Right now I have a sewing from top to bottom of this back seam, but I want the top part to turn into a zipper. So what I'm going to do first is determine the length of zipper that I want. So depends on where you're going and what you're doing, but I'm going to go ahead and do a split, and I'm going to do a 12-inch zipper. We're going to go nice and long this time. And whenever you're splitting, you want to make sure that you are splitting the correct length. So I have a yellow line, I'm working with the yellow line. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to split both the sides of the back for me so that I have that split. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually need to create a placket to sew that lap zipper to, which means I need to know what is the width of my zipper. So if you're using one that's very specific, you can definitely measure it. If you're using one from like YWAC, they'll probably give you those dimensions, but these are some dimensions that you're going to want to know. I'm going to be working with a 3/4 inch zipper, and I'm going to offset an internal line at 3/4 inch, so 0.75. I'm going to hit OK. Then the last thing I want to do is I actually want to create like the bottom little sew line right here that goes out. Oops, wrong button, that goes out. And then I want to do a point at intersection so that I can click the top line and only get the top line, and click the bottom line and only get the bottom line. This helps for sewing. It makes it a little bit faster, a little bit easier, and makes it a little bit more clear. So then what we're going to do is we actually need to change the sewing, because right now we have the sewing going from top to bottom. One way I can do this is I can just delete it and then re-sew it in bottom to bottom. The other thing I can do is I can actually just pull the already existing sewing down so it matches. And if I simulate, we can see this top part is going to split apart just a little bit so that we can then work with it. The next thing we're going to do is it's time to actually sew the zipper. So you have to decide which way you want the lapped zipper to go on and which side you want the edge stitching to go on. I'm going to use my left side here. Yeah, that's the left side. Left side here. Yeah, that is the left side. I'm going to do the edge stitching on the left side, and I'm going to double click to finish the first part. Then the next time I'm not going to the edge, because if you go edge to edge, that's actually going to add a little bit of room in your garment. It'll add 3/4 inch because that's what the size that we're going to set our zipper to, and you don't want it to do that. So I'm going to move in to our internal line, and I'm going to sew down the bottom, double click to finish. Yep, you finished. Okay, just making sure. It was being a little weird there as well. Then we can go ahead and sew it, and you can see it's kind of working its way in and out, but as you look at it, if you look at it from the bottom, you can also see it's like still gathering everything up together. And the reason why it's doing that is because we have not set our zipper to the proper size. That, and if I click off of this, you can see one half is a light gray and the other half is a dark gray. That means this one is on basically inside out. So we're going to flip normal that one side, and it'll flip it. If you wanted the entire zipper to go to the inside, you could flip normal the other side and it would flip it all to the inside, but we want it to be on the outside. Then we're going to come over here to the total width of our zipper, and we're going to change it to 0.75, and we're going to change the teeth to 0.25. and we're gonna let it re-simulate. And then you can see it's actually already starting to work that lap to the outside. So let's see if we can get to the inside here and look at this from the bottom. Ooh, maybe. We might not be able to, but you can see it's now laying much more flat. It's not like crinkling it in. The only crinkle that it's doing is when it's trying to actually get this lap to the outside, which is what we're going to work on next. Now you can kind of just pull on it a little bit, but that's going to be the hard way to make it work. What you want to do is you want to come, stop simulating, to this select mesh box. And then I'm just going to select that mesh and I'm going to turn to the side and we're going to pull it out front. And it's going to, it might take 2 pulls, it might take 2 or 3 pulls, it just depends. But that's looking pretty good. Let's re-simulate and it's looking real good. Now, the little head of that zipper is poking through the fabric. That's part of the simulation details. So we can go in to our simulation properties and we can add some additional thickness, maybe 3. Let's give that a try. So that's a little bit better. It's still poking just a little bit there and it's wanting to keep coming through. My particle distance is already pretty low. I can lower it even more. I can move it down to 5, but I think we're gonna have to still add a little bit more thickness. Let's see if we can pull that up and let it, yeah, it's still just wanting to go through. Let's see here, where is our translucent? Yeah, it's still just gonna wanna poke right through. So what we're going to do is we're going to add just a little bit more thickness again. Maybe let's bump it up to 4. Still not quite 5. There we go. So what you always have to be aware of with that though is it becomes a delicate balance of not having the actual zipper head poke through while still maintaining this flat. Because as you can see, as I get closer here, this is now setting off quite a bit more than it was. If I were to go and change this back down to 1 and resimulate, do you see how it's now much closer to the zipper than it was? So it's one of those that it's a delicate balance to get it to work of how much it's popping up and the thickness and everything. But that's a give and take and choices you have to make. The last thing we want to do to finalize the zipper is we want to change the color. So I'm going to highlight the zipper and I'm going to come into the color. I'm going to get the picker and I'm going to go ahead and pick. I am just going to hit apply and then I'm going to change to the tape because you actually have to change the teeth and the tape separately. Then we're going to do the same thing, color picker, apply, and then let's see if I can get this head. There we go. Last time, color picker, apply, and close. Then I actually have the zipper with a lapped zipper. So let's go ahead and pop this on so that you can see. You can kind of see there is a lapped zipper right there. So that is how you can create a easy lapped zipper in CLO3D. And if you're looking for more information, please check out my full zipper deep dive video where you will learn so much more about the zipper. Or you can look at some of my other zipper tutorials on how you can do a centered zipper or a invisible zipper. And please don't forget to ask any questions if anything's unclear or you want to see a different type of zipper. I would love to help you out. So please let me know in the comments what you're looking to do. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in some of my other videos. Happy patterning!